Did you know that St. Luke's University Health Network has been recognized by the U.S. government as the highest performing health system in the United States for quality? You heard right. St. Luke's #1 recognition affirms our status as the top leader among the most respected healthcare providers in the nation, including Houston Methodist and the Mayo Clinic. To state it simply, if you want to receive the best care when you go to a hospital, come to St. Luke's.
Excuse me! Taxi!
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
And you folks think I'm joking around. Standing by to join me momentarily will be former Congressman Peter King. But we have like 20 people in the social media department. We have Philippe here in the studio. We have Carlos. And I'm recording these videos for social media. And thank you, America. We get lots of hits. And most of the people are reasonable. And then you have the few that don't know anything. They're not educated. And they go, Uncle Tom, you're an Uncle Tom, Uncle Tom, Uncle Tom. Sambo, Sambo. And I know I shouldn't post that their mother is Sambo. I know I shouldn't post that. But, you know, I'm just not one of those to turn the other cheek all the time. So nobody around here said, Dominic, bro, the gray is showing on each side. Yo, you don't have much hair, but yo, it's uneven, man. You need to go get a haircut, Dom. Nobody, there's a barber 3 blocks away. Takes me as soon as I walk in. Nobody said, man, cut the gray off your mustache. My own wife didn't say it. Nobody said it. So Debbie Lebedo, Staten Island, says, Dom, you're too funny today. I'm laughing. But as far as the trans people, those hormones are drugs, and any drug in the wrong hands with mental and emotional instability can be dangerous. They should be cleared in those areas first. So maybe I should have showed my hair, to Debbie or her husband. Anyway, let's bring into the conversation former Congressman Peter King. Congressman, how are you? How's your family?
We're all doing great, but I'd fire all those people. I mean, what are they doing? I mean, they got to make you look good. I mean, it's just terrible. I mean, whenever I've seen you, you look great, but I tell you, what are they doing? Anyway, what's Carlos doing? What's he,
See, and Philippe, but you know what, Congressman King? Philippe, his beard looks like he's ready to be Tom Cruise's replacement in one of the movies. That's how meticulous his beard is done. And they let me go on Instagram, soon to be Facebook, soon to be Twitter, soon to be TikTok, and I'm looking all busted, Congressman. It's just not fair, but it is what it is. Congressman.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him walking around there like he's a Hollywood star, but all he cares about is himself and not you.
Yeah, pretty boy, terrible. All the ladies look at him, hi, Philippe, and they let me go on Instagram, and I don't know I'm busted until I see the video. And now the video's up. All those people in social media, Will, Eric, all of them, and they post the video, and I look like Grandpa. But anyway, Congressman, every time I see you, you're in outstanding shape. So let's start with something that I've seen all over social media that people have reposted. A picture with you and the Reverend Jesse Jackson. He passed away today at the age of 84. A lot of people don't know, they think all these things with President Trump, and they don't, he's a racist. They don't know that Jackson and Trump were pretty tight with each other back in the day. In fact, Mr. Trump fronted financially much of the operations for Reverend Jackson's operations. Just talk to me for a minute or so there about Reverend Jackson and the relationship between Trump and Reverend Jackson.
Yeah, they were very friendly. I was aware of that back in New York, and today, with the statement that President Trump put out, what a good guy Jesse Jackson was. He was a force of nature. He was a good man. I mean, this is that's what I think. Maybe it's some people are so locked into their own ideologies, their own prejudices. For instance, anyone who knows Donald Trump, whether it's Jesse Jackson, Michael Jackson, Mike Tyson,
exactly.
I mean, if there's anyone who, on a very equal basis, dealt with African Americans, it was Donald Trump, not in a condescending way or not, I'm going to help you out or anything. No,
right.
He treated them as equals and more than equal, and without even a hint of any type of racism. Like, it's funny because I'm getting some attack on social media. what kind of a rhino are you hanging around with Jesse Jackson? That's your true style and all that kind of stuff. The fact is, I find if a person is decent, you can disagree with them, but you can work with them. And some people you can't. I mean, they're just, it's impossible. But in my dealings with Jesse Jackson, and I actually met him through Paul O'Dwyer, who's a very liberal Democrat, but we had...
the lawyer?
Paul, he was actually president of city council for a while.
Okay.
He was a perennial Democratic candidate.
Okay.
And again, he was a good guy, and we had a common interest in Northern Ireland. He had gotten Jesse Jackson involved. So we had several meetings. And again, Jesse Jackson was just a regular guy. I say regular in that you could deal with him man to man, but very smart, very dynamic. He was one of those guys that took over the room when he came in. Whether he intended to or not, he just had that type of dynamism.
He sure did.
And to me, we should be able to do that more. I just, again, I probably 9 out of 10 issues he and I didn't agree on, but it was never any type of hard feeling at all. And not that we were close friends. I'm not trying to say that, but I knew him. I knew his son, Jesse Jackson Jr. in Congress. I met his daughter several times. I mean,
sweet young lady.
Yes, absolutely. So I just wish we could find ways to not sacrifice principle, not sell yourself out in any way. But if there's some good in the person, work with that and take it from there and have your honest disagreements. Exactly,
Congressman King. Was Reverend Jackson perfect? No. We all know the mistakes that he made. But whichever one of us that's perfect, myself included, within the sound of my audio right now, please stand up if you're perfect. Because I can't think of a single person that's perfect.
Well, I thought you were perfect. It's sort of like great coming out. That's it.
And Congressman King, I ended up in politics because of Reverend Jackson. So I'm in radio, straight out of grad school, scared to death, right? Am I going to fail? I'm working in New York City. My news director, I'm working for Percy Sutton's radio stations, WBLS, WLIB. The news director calls me up and they say, Dominic, we're sending you on the road for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That's it, Dominic. 2 weeks. You're going to cover Jesse Jackson's presidential campaign in '88 for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, Dominic. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Notice I'm emphasizing the 2 weeks.
Yes.
2 weeks turned into an entire year where, for breakfast, I had Jesse Jackson. For lunch, I had Jesse Jackson. For afternoon snack, Reverend Jesse Jackson. Dinner, you get the point. We spent together, me and all the other reporters assigned to cover him, we were with each other 24 hours a day. The only time we were not with each other is when we had maybe 4 hours to sleep, and then we had the Secret Service bag calls to get our bags. So I got to know him very well. I got to tell you, Congressman King, I have never ate so much fried chicken in my entire life. Because as you know, the campaigns, they feed the in-bed reporters that are traveling with them, you know, and so the campaigns, the media organization have to pay for it, blah, 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 blah. And so we're traveling so much, they have to feed us, and we get box food on the airplane. And whichever city or state we were in, he found the chicken spot, and they would serve us. So me, in-bed reporters, and the Secret Service and Reverend Jackson and the staff, we're eating fried chicken every day, all day. And so, I got to see him up close in terms of covering him. And, I went to the Persian Gulf with him, many times when he went to, rescue Americans and so on.
To Syria, right?
He went to Syria. Yeah. I didn't go on the Syria trip, but I was with him many times. And I got to tell you, I woke up, and when I heard the news, I knew he was ill. I was not feeling so well about it because I guess I'm in the on deck circle, for next to go, and thinking about it, President Trump pointed out that Jackson couldn't stand Obama. And I'm telling you, okay, I would have never said it unless President Trump did. President Trump knows Reverend Jackson very well because I can tell you at least 20, 30 times that Reverend Jackson called Obama everything but a child of God. He couldn't stand Obama. And I guess they just didn't like each other. It just didn't work. I don't know if it was because they could only be one top kahuna. I don't know what it was. But anyway, I want to ask you this.
I'm going to say something there.
Go ahead.
I've met him several times. I'm in a hotel lobby, Windsor Rosemary, walking across, and Jesse Jackson's coming in the door. He sees me. And he goes, "Oh my God!" He comes over, puts his hand on my head. "Lord, heal this man! Heal this man! He's a horrible Republican. Save his soul." This is in the middle of the lobby, and all these people. Roosevelt remembers that to this day.
Wow, that's the type of guy. That's the type of guy he was. I got to tell you, Congressman King, one day, but I don't kiss and tell. But one day, if I could just tell some of the private conversations between myself, Reverend Jackson, and the Reverend Al Sharpton. And they didn't always get along. There were times, many times, when I had to be in the middle of their feuds, of their public feuds. And I'm talking to each of them privately, and one is saying F him, and the other one's saying no, F him. And these are the types of things that would happen. But trust me when I tell you that Reverend Jackson could not stand Obama. Let me ask you this question about Cuomo. It just hit me the other day. I'm listening to him on local in New York here, 77 WABC. Cuomo's making a lot of sense on his radio shows. Is it possible that he's setting up a run for mayor 4 years from now? Could he do it conceivably?
I think he could do it. I think that the city, again, I hate to say it, but I think the city is going to be in very bad shape. People are going to have had enough of Mandami. And so I can see Andrew. Listen, I don't know what the real Andrew Cuomo is. Listen, I always got along with him okay. And I thought his first term, maybe even the second term as governor, was pretty good. Then when he had a scare in the primary from Cynthia Nixon, off the deep end, and his third term became very left-wing. So I don't know what the real Andrew Cuomo is. I mean, John Catsimatidis had him out. I know at his hotel out there, out in the Hamptons. He has those Saturday morning meetings. This is about a year or so ago. And Andrew Cuomo up there, you would have thought it was Ronald Reagan or even Donald Trump. He's talking about we have to stand with the police. We have to do this and that. And we have to, taxes are too high, there's too much spending, we've forgotten the middle income people, the blue collar people that do all the work, and he sounded like it's a very focused Republican. But then when he was back before that, when he was in the arena, he was the guy leading the charge. I mean, he was out there during George Floyd, saying he was proud to stand with the protesters the night after they were throwing Molotov cocktails around and knocked the cop's teeth out with a brick. So, and I remember I called him on it, and he called me at home on the phone. He's yelling and screaming, "Who do you think you are?" And now, so listen, I think Andrew is talent. I think in some ways he's his own worst enemy, but he's also very capable. And if he could stick with that with his middle class upbringing, that's what he had. He should have stuck to that and not gone off to somehow think he can endear himself to the left wingers, because he's very capable, very, very engaging when he wants to be. And basically, I think he's a good guy.
Well, Congressman King, I close with this, and I'm going to get back to the live calls. Folks are standing by. I always love to chat with you. One, because you're knowledgeable. You know what you're talking about. And two, you always guide me when I ask you what stories are you looking for in the future. So what are you looking at right around the corner that you think the rest of us should be paying attention to?
I would say I'm going to be watching. I'm involved in it to an extent. I know him well, and I talk to him almost every day. Make sure that the Bruce Blakeman campaign takes off. He's got to start. He's doing his best, but people can't just talk. They got to start raising money for Bruce. They got to get out there and support him. And we have to have a united Republican Party. We can't have people who are feeling sorry that they didn't get the nomination or whatever. We had to defeat Kathy Hochul. We got to take it back. So I wanted to see how unified the Republican Party can be and should be. And I think Bruce Blakeman can win with the support, with solid support. He can do it. But he needs everyone behind him. He can't just sit on the sideline and do nothing, and then after the election complain, why we didn't win.
That's a great point there, Congressman. I look forward to chatting with you very soon. Always great to have you on, former Congressman Peter King. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dominic.